Hello everyone, my name's Idiotic Synergy and today we're talking about the Doomwheel for Skaven because I wanted to talk about it. That, I think that's explanation enough. I wanted to talk about it. It is probably one of the most iconic Skaven units in my humble opinion, because whenever someone mentions Skaven, someone will always bring up the Doomwheel. And I do like this model. I really do. And it's still plastic and it's great. Unfortunately, there's no proper 360 view, which is a bit annoying. But I do like this humble little machine of death because it's quite a unique weapon. And, well, unique unit. Weapon, unit, same thing when it comes to Skaven. Yeah, it's just a really nice little unit. I like how it's painted and I really like the shoddiness of it. I know that sounds like an insult, doesn't it? But it is very much kit bashed together out of bits because that's how Skaven do their things. Basically, get a bunch of planks, get a bunch of wood, get a bunch of metal, combine it all together, and boom, you have a vehicle. And I love it. I do absolutely love it, and I really want to do a Skaven army. I want to do a Skaven army. Oh man, it's just nice to see, isn't it? It really is. I like this tanker here. This tanker back here is really cool. But I also like this Skaven here who's just screaming. I like to think he's screaming. He could be yelling out orders, but I like to think they're all screaming because they're on this. They're on the best contraption known to man. Oh, it's simple in a way. It is incredibly simple. I just like the idea that they're just permanently screaming, for they know that if it messes up, they're all dead. Just the worst thing. I want to know what it does in game. That's the thing that interests me most. Is what does it do in game? Because it could be quite powerful, or it could be quite shit. We never know when it comes to models in game. Ooh, yes, I'm not just doing meme videos. I also talk about models because I like talking about models. I am aware that new people have joined the channel, so hello there. This is what I also do. I also talk about models because I have nothing else to do. But despite that, it's a clever model. Also, in a weird, I'd say in a weird way, you could feasibly, it would take some doing, I won't lie, but you could easily, you could kit bash it for Necromunda, because there is nothing stopping you from removing the back bit and putting Goliath on it, and boom, you have a really big Goliath mauler. I don't know if the base size is the same as a regular Goliath mauler, or if they don't, or if they use bases at all. I don't really remember. But it would be one hell of a vehicle. Hell, you could kit bash this for orcs. There's nothing stopping you kit bashing this for orcs. Remove the Skaven and just replace it with grots. It'd be one hell of a giant. Oh, what's that big old gun they have? The orcs, 40k orcs. The zap gun, have like a big mech with a zap gun, but this be the zap gun. It'd be one hell of a zap gun, but it would look amazing. But yeah, the Doomwheel, usually there's a 360 view, and I would talk more about the details and everything, but alas, it is just this view, and I like the Warpstone. It is painted very nice. I mean, it ought to be, because if it was painted badly, then no one would buy it, would they? But despite all that, I like the design. The design of this machine interests me a lot more than the paint job. And I do like it. I really do. Anyway, should I talk about the rules? Yes, I should, because the rules could be quite good, or they could be quite shit. We never know. Ooh, this is the enjoyable part. For me, not for you. I'm a bit sad like that. But despite that, let's just get into it. So, this is the Doom Wheel, and the Doom Wheel is certainly a wheel of doom. I mean, obviously, it's called the Doom Wheel. It'd be a bit weird if it weren't. But already I see movement 4d6, which is quite funny, because if you whiff the roll and you roll all ones, then it's movement 4. But if you're really lucky and get 4 sixes, then it's movement 24, which is quite fast. It would be terrifying if you rolled 4 sixes and then all of a sudden just charge the other side of the board. it would be terrifying, but it would be quite funny at the same time. But despite that, and also you can advance with this. I assume it's like normal advancing rules as well. So feasibly, if you say, right, I'm going to run with this machine, and you roll yet another 6, it would be movement 30 if you get all 6s, but I don't think that's ever going to happen unless you're incredibly lucky. That would be really sick to see, though, wouldn't it? In game, just someone keeps rolling 6s. Just, oh yes, my movement, 30. Good luck, fucker. Anyway, despite that, it has other stats as well. Save of a 4, Bravery 7, Wounds of an 8. Not bad at all. It has Warp Bolts, which are like regular bolts, but warp-powered, using the Warp Stones. Range 13, that's quite far. Attacks D6, not bad. Heating on freeze, wounding on freeze, rending 1, damage D3. And its melee weapons, the Grinding Wheel, which is range 1 inch, attacks D6, hitting on freeze, wounding on freeze, rending 1, damage 1, and teeth and knives. And these are 6 attacks. That's a lot out of the teeth and knives, but then again, there's probably a lot of rats inside them, so it would make sense. But you get 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, no rending, damage 1. I don't hate that. I like the fact that you have a lot of attacks with the teeth and knives. That's quite nice. But I also like the grinding wheel as well. So, the abilities. Let's get into the abilities. You have Rolling Doom, which is self-explanatory. I don't know what I was going to say then. But when this unit moves, it can pass across models with a wounds characteristic of a 3 or less in the same manner as a unit that can fly. In addition, sorry, I just read down. In addition, after this unit has moved, roll a dice for each unit that has any models it passed across, and for each other unit within 1 inch of this unit at the end of the move. On a 2, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. I like that one. I kind of wish 40k tanks have that rule. That would be great if you have a Baneblade. That would be quite funny. If you have a massive Baneblade, you can go over your own men as well as the enemies, and on like a 4, you do D3 mortal wounds. That would be quite funny. I like that. Rolling Doom. I mean, it doesn't say... it just says unit. It doesn't necessarily say enemy unit. So anyone's going to get crushed. That's quite funny. More speed, which is something that's said a lot in my college. You make a normal move with this unit, and you can re-roll the roll. The roll that determines its movement characteristic. However, if any of those moves are blah blah blah, I can't talk and I can't read. However, if any of those dice are an unmodified 1, your opponent makes that normal move with this unit instead of you. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that one's a bit risky. Say you roll 4 1s and you want to re-roll them. If you get another 1, your opponent goes, lol, you get crushed. I like the idea that your opponent can use your own unit to crush your own guys. That's quite funny. That is quite funny and silly, and I want a Skaven army now. I want a Skaven army and just populate it with this. Nothing else, just Doomwheels. More warp bolts. Before you determine the attack's characteristic of warp bolts, you can say that the engineer is overcharging the warp lightning generator. If you do so, the attack's characteristic for that attack is 2d6 instead of 1d6. However, if you roll a double, any double, this unit suffers 2d6 mortal wounds. How many wounds? It's got 8. 2d6 mortal wounds. It's got 8 mortal wounds. I would play it safe and not do that, but then again, if you rolled 2 6s, that's 12 attacks. Damage D3 ain't bad. Oh, mate. 2d6 mortal wounds. 8 and above instantly kills you. That is if you haven't been wounded. That's quite silly. And obviously, if you're playing sensibly, you wouldn't use this option. But if you're me, you would spam this option at every opportunity because it would be funny. I've got 12 attacks, but my unit will also die in the process. We will all die. Fear my warp bolts. That. Oh dear, I like that. I like that ability a lot. That's quite silly. I now want a Doomwheel. For fuck's sake. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. There will be more weird meme content coming out over the coming days and weeks and what have you. I enjoy scripting them. But there's also this sort of content where I talk about models, and there will be painting videos at some point in my life. I will do more painting videos. But I'm just trying to get everything set up, and it's a bit of a mess. But regardless, I hope you enjoy. Maybe subscribe if you want. And yeah, I'll see you later. Remember, take care, stay safe, and look after each other. Bye for now.